Hi guys, today I'm gonna be putting some makeup on, getting ready, and chatting with you guys about topics that you requested on my Instagram. I asked what we're gonna talk about today and you guys have replied, so I'm gonna see what you guys have to say. I'm gonna be doing my makeup a little bit and we're just gonna chat and have fun. Before we hop into today's topics, I wanna thank today's sponsor, which is FabFitFun. Thank you so much to FabFitFun for sponsoring today's video. This is the first time I've worked with them. I'm so excited to open up and show you guys what I got in my FabFitFun box, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about the service and who they are. They are a lifestyle subscription where you get 6 products per season from top brands across beauty, fashion, home, wellness, skincare, and more. And I love that I get to choose all of the exact products that I get in my box that will fit into my specific lifestyle. Ooh, okay, so this is one of the things that I chose, is Bathorium Cognac Exfoliating Body Sponge. And this would normally be $21, so I'm excited to give this a go. And I've been wanting to exfoliate my body better because I'm really bumpy. And then I also got the Thrive Cosmetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. I have not really tried much from Thrive Cosmetics, but people love them. I've heard so many good things about this brand, and so I really wanted to try this. This is the shade Lauren, which is a matte black. This retails for $24. This is another one that I picked. It's called the Offline by Aerie. Real Me Low Key Long Line Sports Bra. And I got this size XXL. That might be a little much, but it might be. But I really like comfort when it comes to bras, and I love a freaking sports bra. This would normally cost me, if I had bought this, $39.95, so 40 bucks. This is the Francesca Bush Balm. This is a body hair trimmer. It's probably for a weird place that I want it. I want it for some other places, but I want it for my face mostly. I use the little dermaplaner and I love to shave my face, but sometimes I just want to shave it like quick to go. Just, you know, when I'm real peach fuzzy and I don't want to like get the oil out and do my dermaplaner. That's why I wanted this, to sit on my desk in here. I can like quickly do my bikini line if I want to like go hop into a pool or something real quick. This would normally cost me $65, which is more than I paid for the entire box. What is this cutie? Oh, cute. I forgot I got this. This is Year and Day ceramic spoon rest to sit right next to. I might even use it in here, honestly, for like a little tray. You guys know I'm huge into ceramics right now, so I love this so much. This would have normally cost me $36. This is the Homesick Lemongrass Breeze Candle, and this would have cost me $35. Oh, I like that very much. That is very fresh lemon scented. And that's my FabFitFun box. I love everything that I got. It's so cute. And it's a way to try new things that maybe you wouldn't have even thought of before. But there's a lot of different products that you can choose in each category. Those are just the ones that I picked. But like, let's say you're like, oh, I'm not big into candles. In that same category was the Not a Perfume. There was the Isla Pearl Earrings, a Cryothermal Recovery Mask, Kopari Marine Clean Purifying Gel Cleanser, a tote bag or sunglasses, or all different kinds of things on there that you're able to pick. I chose the bikini body trimmer, but the one that I was having a hard time with was like, do I want the gauzy maxi dress? Because I'm trying to get into dresses, but I will say I've bought like 15 dresses. I'm still an overalls girl. I just have to come to accept who I actually am. Also, as a member, you get access to member-only flash sales. You can shop the top brands up to 70% off of brands like Prada, Glossier, Free People, Coach, Fenty Beauty, and there's way more. The average member saves about $500 in their first season. If you guys are interested in checking out FabFitFun right now, if you guys use my code, you guys can get a free gift valued at over $200 with a new annual membership. I'm an annual member and I love it because you get first dibs at choosing the products that you have in your box. You get earlier shipping and first access to those flash sales that I talked about before. You get the most out of the annual membership, but you guys can also do a seasonal membership. And if you want to sign up as a seasonal member, I also have a 20% off code for you guys to use for your first box. Each season's box has a value of up to about $350. And when you use my code, your first box is only $55.99. If you guys are interested in checking out the annual membership to get the free gift valued at over $200, my code is KristiGift. And for 20% off of the seasonal membership, my code is Kristi20. And I thank you again so much to FabFitFun for sponsoring today's video. And now let's hop into the questions that you guys had for me. And this one gets pretty deep, I would say. Pretty deep, I would say. All right, I'm gonna toss on a little bit of foundation. I've been really liking these sticks. I used these in a recent video. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Foundation Balm. I've been using the lighter color, but I'm using this one right now. This is Light 6. The other one I was using was Fair 3. Before we get too much into the video, I wanna say, we have been uploading quite a bit on our Sweet Life of Zach and Kristi channel, and we have a ton of gardening content coming because we just built dahlia beds, and oh, So that video is going to be coming, building the dahlia bed, which you guys have to see. It is so effing cute. I cannot take it. We built a raised bed over by the greenhouse, and this is the first time that we've ever put anything in this area. Before this, it's just been completely empty and sort of an eyesore area. But now, oh my God, it's going to be so cute. So if you guys are interested in gardening content, homesteading, we have a video coming up soon. I'm not exactly sure when. It should have been up already, but we had some reasons that couldn't come out. But we made natural dyes out of all the things like on our own property, and oh my gosh, just all tons of different content, foraging and making nettle tea. It's real slow, moody, vibey stuff, and I really love it. I love that channel so much. I'm gonna have it linked like up here in the eye. I'm also gonna have it linked down below if you guys want to check out that kind of stuff. We're gonna be uploading quite often. I'm gonna use this. We're gonna see how this works out. This is the Pixi On The Glow Bronze Tinted Moisture Stick. Someone wanted to hear me talk about marriage issues. I have made mention of this recently. I don't know if you guys saw in a recent video. I talked about how my husband and I have been together for 20 years this year. That sounds fake because I feel 20. I should make a video, and I think I will, this August with Zach, sitting down and answering all of you guys' questions if you have any about relationships, how we've managed to stay happily married for 20 years, all that kind of stuff. But I'll talk a little bit about it in this video too, if anyone's interested. We've never really had like a rough patch in our relationship, I will say. So we met when we were in high school, like I said, and if there is such a thing as love at first sight, it was love at first sight. Like we literally just immediately fell head over heels for each other. We've been pretty inseparable ever since. More in love with him today than I was then. So we're doing really good. And I guess I don't really know the key to a happy and healthy relationship other than I do have some things that I feel like contribute and certainly don't harm anything. So it is very fortunate that Zach and I are just very similar people in our interests. We have a lot of differences in himself. Like he's into dirt bikes and he's into a lot of different things than I am. Even though we have separate interests, we can come together and sort of agree on a lot of things. And if we disagree, we talk it out a lot. We have a really good communication between the two of us. So I feel like that's our biggest strong suit, is that if we have issues with each other, we tell each other. If I'm feeling some sort of way towards him, I let him know immediately. I don't let it fester. I don't let it stew. I don't let it be something that I sit there on and don't say anything about. As uncomfortable as those conversations can be, like if I've had issues with like, hey, I feel like you're on your phone too much, I just tell him right away. I try, if I can, not to let it become this anger that sits and festers with me for a long time. I will say though, right after we had our baby, we definitely had more tiffs, and I think that's pretty normal. I actually have heard that marriage quality goes down in the first like 3 years after kids, and I would have to agree. Like we do not fight at all. We never fight. We never argue. We're not that kind of couple. We don't have a lot of disagreements. We really just are on the same page with a lot of things. But after our son was born, we were just tired. We were extremely tired. So you add sleep deprivation on top of the lack of time that you have to have like any form of self-care, the change up of, you know, life duties and tasks, and feeling like you have equal tasks, and all of that can lead to a lot of resentment. And so it definitely was tougher in the beginning of postpartum because I just didn't know what to expect. And so we definitely had a lot more arguments in the first few couple years after our son was born. And I feel like we've just gotten to a much better place. I'm kind of the thing that makes life either hard or easy for us, because he's kind of a pretty easy dude. Like he just sort of is easygoing, goes with the flow. He's just that kind of guy. So as long as I'm happy, kind of we're happy. And so I've been a sort of the driving force for any of the arguments really that we've had that have been like, if I'm unhappy, it's kind of like the house is unhappy. And so I try to just do my best to be very forthcoming. If I have an issue, I tell him immediately. If I feel like, you know, the workload is unbalanced or I've been struggling with something, I immediately tell him. He immediately tells me if he's got an issue with me, which he rarely does because he's just so agreeable, just a really nice person. He's just kind of the best. And I feel like our personalities just mesh really well. And yeah, we definitely have gotten in more fights than ever before since becoming parents, like I said. But I think that's inevitable. And it's just something to keep in mind that will happen for most people when you're kind of put under strain. I don't know any strain that's more intense than adding a new member to your household that you're just now meeting, but love more than anything, you know? So other than that, yeah, 20 years this year, we've gone through so many different things together. I mean, if you think about the length of my life, because I'm 37 years old, I've known Zach and been with him for longer than I was alive before him. You know what I mean? Because I'm 37. So that means that because we got together when I was 17, more of my life has been spent with him than has been spent without him. And so we've literally grown up together. We've lived our lives together. I feel like there is nobody better suited for me. He's perfect for me. And I am so thankful that we met when we did and that I am able to spend my life with him because I literally love him so much. It's actually sick. I love him so much. And we've created the most beautiful child together, and the fact that we are parents together after literally meeting when we were little scene kid teenagers, being total dirt grubs at Walmart and hanging out and smoking cigarettes, and like it just feels like, how is this the same people? But we are the same people, but we're so different. It feels like a million lifetimes ago. How is that the same life? Doing dirtbag stuff together. Now we're married and together for 20 years and have a kid and a family and a homestead and chickens and cats, and it's just like, I'm so thankful. I thank God every single day that this is my life. I'm not even exaggerating. It's just wild. If you guys want to hear more about that, if you have specific questions, I will do that video coming up soon. By the way, for this palette that I'm using this color right here from the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush palette. I'm taking it up into my eye area here because it's so pretty. This is the shade Pink Moon. I don't even know if this is a palette anymore. I saw online, like I went to go use it and then I swear it's not up anymore, but this is such a good palette. This is the Swear By It by NYX. It's so good. Why is it not a thing anymore? I think I'm gonna go in with some like reddier colors, like pinks and reds. How to come to terms with that you believe in God when everything around you tries to disprove that he exists. I just listened to apologetics. That's for me. If you don't know what apologetics are, it's basically like people trying to prove the existence of God. And so they answer all these questions. Like they kind of are really good at answering these questions. For myself, and I'm only speaking for myself, and I think a lot of people get really mad when you talk about this kind of stuff because they're like, speak for yourself. Like I can only speak for myself. But for me, atheism or agnosticism, that one is a little less, but like atheism, at least for itself, for me, is sort of a hopeless existence. Like it's sort of, yeah, this is it. So what this is what there is. And this is where it ends. And that doesn't feel comforting to me. That doesn't feel, you know, if God forbid, like how my mom died when she was, you know, young, and there's a million things I didn't get to say to her, and, you know, she never got to meet my son and all of that. Like to me, just knowing like, and she never will, you know, it's easier for me, I think, than some other people because I was raised with some church background. You know, I went to church as a kid. I went to Sunday school. I went to church camp when I was a teenager. I fell away from God when I was a teenager because my mom died and it was really, really awful. And then I have recently found my way back. But it hasn't come by easy for me. All of these things have been kind of difficult, but that's the nature of it, right? None of this is easy. None of us are getting out of this alive. And it's a choice that we all make to either believe or not to believe. Skepticism just wasn't doing anything for me. And so I have made the conscious choice to believe and continue to seek and continue to learn. Now, I don't find necessarily, because this person said, how to come to terms with that you believe in God when everything around tries to disprove he exists. We're given free will, and we're given free will to make that exact decision. This is a part that for me sort of made sense to me and was one of the things that for me kind of made it make more sense. Because for the longest time I was like, okay, if you don't believe, then you go to hell. So like people that don't believe go to hell. I think I had a misunderstanding, or maybe none of us, of course, do know. None of us know, but we can, you know, guess as to say what we think hell is. None of us actually know because none of us have been there, because if you've been there, that means you're dead. And if you're dead, then you can't say. I was kind of picturing hell the way Hollywood portrays it, you know, like it's a burning, being tortured for eternity because you chose not to believe in something. And while that may certainly be the case, because again, none of us know, a lot of people and a lot of other biblical scholars and theologians would say that they believe that hell is the absence of God. Because God is love, hell is the absence of love. and the absence of love would be a misery. And people would say, oh, so I have to go to hell because I didn't believe? How does that make sense? And it's like, I've heard it explained sort of like this, and this is sort of how my mind was able to make it make sense. We're each given free will. And if in that free will, we had chosen not to believe in God, we've been told about it, hey, that doesn't align with me, I don't like that, I don't care, I don't believe in Jesus, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in any of that. And so you've made your choice, you're like, hey, I don't care, I don't believe in any of that. And then God's like, well, you have to be with me anyway. Because if heaven is real, heaven would be eternity with him. So actually, he would be denying your free will by letting you go to heaven. Because if you don't believe in it, and you don't want to spend eternity with God or with Jesus, why would he force that upon you? And so people feel like, it's not fair. Why would you send me to hell just because I don't believe? Well, if hell is absence from God, that's exactly what you wanted. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of like, not that you wanted to burn in hell. I don't know if it is burning or if it's just nothingness, if it's just annihilation or ceasing to exist or whatever it is. But if heaven is eternal life with God or with Jesus, why would he force you when you've said on earth, I don't want any part of that, to be with him? That would be like, I've heard it explained sort of like, would it be loving for somebody to kidnap you and put you in the basement and be like, love me? And you're like, literally no. And then they do it and they're like, you're gonna love me. Is that real love? No, that's somebody forcing you to be with them, forcing you to love them. But if they really respected your free will, they would try to get you to love them like on their own. And if you were like, no, then they were like, okay, well then you don't have to be with me. We take the scripture, we read the Bible, and you like have to basically see if you believe it or not. Who knows? We don't know. But if that is the case, it almost makes the most sense to me because it's the most loving thing. The most loving thing would be to not force people who don't want to be with you for eternity. And if that is what salvation or heaven is the choice, and you were given that choice and you made your choice and you said, I don't want to do that, how would it be loving to be forced to do that thing? The loving thing or the honorable thing would just be to say, okay, that was your free will and that was the choice you made. And the opposite is that you chose not to want to believe in this, and that's totally fine. You didn't have to, but then you're going to spend whatever time either annihilated, which I don't know if that's the thing, like you're just going to cease to be, or if that being is conscious and that conscious being is separated from God, which because God is love, then I guess that existence would be a place of lack of love. But everybody has that choice. And so what I would do if I claim to believe in the Bible, there is a commandment that I must follow, and that is love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your neighbor as yourself. I love you. Even if you don't believe what I believe, even if you never do or will, I just want what's best for people. I feel strongly that I'm going to treat people with kindness and love and respect and dignity. I'm never going to push my beliefs on anybody because we're all still learning. I learn something new every day, and I find it in myself has helped me to have belief versus being skeptical of everything and having no belief, because for me, it gives me hope. It gives me a sense of peace and calm. And if even it's just that, it has helped me. I fear dying a lot, and it has helped me less to fear dying. And I have a lot of anxieties and a lot of worries, and now I love my son more than anything in the world. And so I personally find that belief in Jesus is very comforting to my soul. How do you come to terms with it? You believe what you believe while being loving to other people. Nobody ever brought anybody to a belief or to religion or to whatever through being a shitty asshole or being mean or screaming in their face, or it's just none of that works. I don't know why that's still the tactic that everybody uses. It just does not work. The only people who I've ever seen potentially open the minds of other people are people who are just like, lead with love, be kind, be normal. Like, dude, there's a shortage of normal, kind believers out there. I swear the internet is only showing the extremists who make the faith look bad. And that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people necessarily hate God. It's the people in the religion that make you hate it, not necessarily just the book itself. I'm going to believe what I believe. I'm not going to rub it in anybody's face. I'm not going to shove it in anybody's face. I'm not going to make anybody believe what they don't want to believe. I'm going to live the way that aligns with my values, and that's all we can do as people. People want to disprove he exists. That's on them. That's their prerogative and it's their life, and that's going to happen. And you can just stand firm in your beliefs. All you can do is lead by example, lead with love, and be a good example of your belief. So that's all I really can say. Hopefully that answered any kind of question. The last thing that somebody wanted me to talk about was trying not to compare yourself when you see everyone else's highlight reel. That is tough. I naturally do that. I think we all naturally do that. We all see everybody else going through something and we're like, wow, literally, really? Well, I'm doing it wrong then. I fall into this quite a bit. I actually recently was talking to a mom friend of mine, and I was talking about how I didn't even know I was doing it, but before I had my kid, I was like, if you don't want your kid to be a chicken nugget kid, then don't feed him chicken nuggets. And then you have a kid, or at least I realized sometimes it's a chicken nugget day. And sometimes it just is. And like all of my judgment has gone out the window. So I told her that, and I was like, and my son was particularly in kind of a beige food moment. And so I mentioned that to her. And I was like, you know, you see those broccoli moms, and she said, up until this very moment, I thought you were a broccoli mom. She said that to me. And I was like, oh my God, some days, sure. My kid loves broccoli, but he also will always pick chicken nuggets and candy. Literally last night, his mouth was dyed the bluest of blue because I let him have a ring pop. And that's the thing, balance, you know, for the most part, we feed him pretty healthy. We try not to keep a bunch of junk in the house, but like there's gonna be days. She saw me as how I see other people, and I'm so not a broccoli mom. I might inadvertently share only the days where I make my son steak and broccoli, feeling like that's what I want to share with the world. So it seems like that's all we eat. We got to keep that in mind for a lot of different people, because I do not certainly only feed my kids steak and broccoli and homemade beet juice popsicle. No, like he's a normal human being, and you know, I fail often. I do my best, but sometimes my best is, you know what, if all you're gonna eat is popcorn, that I can't, that most people are sharing the things that they feel like they did a good job on, and they're not sharing the things that they feel like they're failing on. And for me, I'm not showing you the areas of my house that look like a hoarder lives there. I am showing you the curated, beautiful garden, because that's what I feel good about sharing. It's not that I'm trying to give a false idea of who I am. It's that I'm also not trying to show the internet the worst parts of myself, and I'm also not trying to show the internet, I don't know, things that are gonna give them like ammunition to talk shit about me. Like, I'm just sharing the wins where I have them. And that can make it look like my life is all wins. And like any of our lives would look that way if that's all we were sharing. So I think that's another thing to importantly keep in mind, that most of us are sharing our wins, not because we're trying to be disingenuous, but because nobody wants to see the hair I pull off of my head and swirl around on the shower wall. And I'm not proud of it. I'm type D. Wish I was more type A, type D. It is what it is. Just try not to compare yourself, knowing that even me, who's like been pretty forthcoming about stuff online, this is all of us, okay? I didn't even know that I was portraying myself that way, but I just was. All right, well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me, chatting makeup, products, fun things, fab fit fun things, and talking about life things, because that's all what life is all about, isn't it? And I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and for being here, and for being awesome, asking me questions, and for caring. It means a lot to me. So I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you at my next video. Bye.